different things. So it's been the up and the down, the ups and the down. Because remember that we're not directly linked with France per se because we're Anglophone. Of course, our colonial leaders at the time was the UK, of course, and so France's allegiance somewhat is tilted more to the francophone countries.
And that's why he didn't speak,
So
perhaps.
all this while, because you want to find out some persons in the school of thought, some in some school of thought are alleging that how be that that France did not speak all this while, but the moment there was a in quotes a coup,
In Benin Republic.
purported coup in Benin Republic, he came forth.
Oh, that conversation began.
The conversation that was when the phone call came, and they had a phone call. Question is, some school of thoughts are also saying that the moment, the time when it was Niger Republic and there was a coup and it happened, it was alleged that President Macron also called President Tinubu to do something from the ECOWAS point of view because our president then was the ECOWAS chairman, and we saw how our president made some it had to be very firm.
He made some statements,
So it was like a firm response from ECOWAS, like we will not tolerate this. We condemn. At every given time when there's a coup, the regional body condemns. Then also the continental body too also condemns. Statements come up, and then suddenly said you are going to come. It was trying to seek permission from the Senate to go all out, and some persons were wondering how is it that the issue in Niger Republic is now touching affecting us? He said okay because ECOWAS is like the big brother of the region, accepted, but there was a call from the president. There was a call. In this case too. Suddenly there's a call. Why did the call come now?
And that's why one Okoji Kingsley Uchenna, he wrote, he said, Nigeria blindly following France's geopolitical instructions in Benin isn't just embarrassing, it's dangerous. Today, it drags our soldiers into a crisis that diplomacy could fix, and tomorrow it could spark regional hostility, drain our military, wreck our borders, and turn West Africa into a playground for foreign interests. A nation that can't control its foreign policy is already writing the script for future chaos. That's from one Okoji Kingsley Uchenna, who was responding to what Emmanuel Macron wrote on his X handle.
Because already there is the issues with the Sahel, the countries in the Sahel, and these countries directly or indirectly they are facing some kind of things. Aside from the countries have military juntas or military regimes there, you also know that there has been this issue of terrorism. People that are already sworn their allegiance to ISIL and of course Al Qaeda. So it is people are really fighting in Mali. They're fighting in Sudan too. You're having issues with the Tuaregs are fighting in Mali. Some other things. These people, these non-state actors are aligned with the things. So I think for sure, because we also know that France has their own interest over here in energy, upstream and downstream sector. The Total Energy, of course, is a French company, and you know what's happening. So people will say that okay, the crisis happening is happening in the north. It's not happening in the south where they have the French, where these things your company is situated or sited. But okay, because we have interest, let's get to have conversation. Some persons in justification, some school of thought are saying that in justification that it will be rather late than not even happening at all, just to justify what Macron is saying. But do we need to have the conversation with President Macron coming together? Yes. Now the question would be to what extent, or what's the full detail of the partners? We saw when France and its partners came together.
So we call all the partners to mobilize.
And they did the mobility against Libya. They declared a no-flight zone in Libya, and that was against Muammar Gaddafi wanting to remove the regime of Muammar Gaddafi. Idea is that was successful, but to what end? Till date, some of the weapons that were in the hands of the militia that were being backed by these EU bombings and other things, some of those weapons are the ones that have now trickled down to the hands of the Boko Haram.
But this time around, they are not looking forward to removing a leader. They are looking at tackling terrorism.
Okay, tackling terrorism.
So the mobilization may be different this time around. Maybe for
Yep.
something good to stop the terrorism that's taking place in the north. Something like that. And just as you said, Paul, I'm just wondering, and I agree with you completely on the aspect. Why is it coming now after there was this little Benin, brouhaha about the coup thing? We know that President Tinubu had visited Emmanuel Macron several times. It became a topic of conversation and or discussion on radio and everywhere.
Even when
when he keeps visiting
on
France.
his leave, just the way former President former President Muhammadu Buhari was always going to London.
Yes, great. So,
So, yeah.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, visits France regularly, and he spent a couple of weeks. Recently we talked about it on there. Why would he go to France and begin to look at what's happening in the Nigerian government? And Bayo Onanuga released several statements about the president's visit and what they are discussing and everything. But at that time, there had been terror attacks in Nigeria, of course. But we didn't hear or we didn't see any press release from Bayo Onanuga saying that the president has spoken with the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, to see how they can collaborate to fight terrorism in Nigeria in those visits. But now, and then of course in recent times as well, there was no call, there was no message, there was no conversation like that. But it is it's so let's say should I say it's coincidental, the coincidence is just so much that it is because during this period of the coup, of the attempted coup, so-called coup in Benin Republic, that Emmanuel Macron is putting up this message or this information on his X handle saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke with him and they discussed this issue, and that's why it's giving a lot of Nigerians something to think about. And the question we're asking this morning is, what will France stand to benefit? Major question that we would want our listeners to respond to. But let's look at implications for Nigeria, of course. This renewed call for cooperation carries several important potential implications for Nigeria. And I think there are four. Number one is to boost in capacity and resources with French support in training, intelligence sharing, and possibly logistics or advisory roles. Nigeria's security services may become better equipped to respond to insurgency, banditry, kidnappings, and other crises. Remember, the American senator is in Nigeria as well, Riley Moore. We got information yesterday that he had a meeting with monarchs and clerics in Benue State. And then, of course, we hear that he's meeting with the government in Abuja today, I think so. So you see, America is also coming up. France is about to come in. So we have two nations here. Riley Moore and Donald Trump is here to look at how America can partner with Nigeria to fight the banditry and to stop the so-called Christian genocide, right? And that's why he's in Nigeria. And the conversations have been very positive. That's what Riley Moore said, even on his X handle. And now Emmanuel Macron is saying this coming on the request of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president. He is also going to see how to, support Nigeria with all of this. So that means we're going to be having France and the United States of America coming in to, fight terrorism if everything goes well. I mean, if America does not come anymore, France will definitely show up. That's exactly what he's saying. So we're looking at those partners that they're going to be mobilizing with. I'm looking at, is it America? Is it, because France, America, they all belong to the NATO allied forces. They all belong to the same. So when we talk about partners, are we talking about NATO coming into Nigeria to support? Because when we talk about partners, we're calling all our partners to mobilize and all of that. So we can't, according to his words, let me just quote him directly. He said, no one should remain a spectator. So when you talk about, we call on all our partners to mobilize. Who are the partners? Because I know France is a member of NATO. The United States is also a member of NATO.
But I know if you talk about United States made a part of NATO recently, I think even President Donald Trump, since he came into office, it's been really against somewhat. He has not really aligned with the NATO dynamics and the things.
So he's doing
all
his
of,
thing
so,
independently.
so he's been, all of anything that have to do with people coming together. It feels that they're not doing enough, but rather
They're not contributing
yes,
the way
that
America contributes to
America
NATO.
is what
Yeah.
is contributing the most on all these different things. We're not well. So for me, the conversation is going to be we're looking at it in different dimensions, implications. What does each country have to gain? Nigeria, France. France is looking at Nigeria that we are very, very pivotal in the conversation around Africa. It's how God has made us to be. It's very important. And instability in Nigeria affects the African continent somewhat somehow. And the potential that we have, if you keep having issues with insecurity, investment is going to be threatened. Of course, the cash flow or returns down that way is not going to be good. The safety of their citizens that are here working here, in our energy sector, is going to be, in comatose. So they want stability, especially when you look at France, when you think about all the different countries. Burkina Faso have left the grip. Mali have done that. Niger Republic have done that. Chad has done that. Then you are seeing Benin Republic having a glimpse of like, okay, we want to join our elder brothers. And these countries that have the military persons have also written officially to be excluded from ECOWAS. There is a problem. So
It's a regional problem.
it's
West
a
Africa
regional problem. And all of these people that have been doing it, they're all aligned to France. So when you see these things happening, like his concern is like, okay,
How
please.
can Nigeria come in now to settle this matter?
The fact remains that also because we've also had the military coups at different time, but we were able to stabilize now into democracy, and that's why France will be like wanting. Okay, you have been in this route before, this road before. How did you do it? How did you come out from it? What can we learn so that we could really help out? Remember, these other countries that did the coup and they left France were always shouting about France's grip on them,
Their resources.
the resources and all the things. But now France is wanting to play, they wanted to play a fair judge and saying, "Oh, sorry, we're not having any. We're not going to be hooking you or anything, but we just want to help out. Want to play."
So is that what it's going to do? Because of course they don't have any grip on Nigeria because
Yeah.
we were not once a colony of France, but now I think France is genuinely coming to help Nigeria to fight terrorism.
But they have-
upon the request of
They
our
have.
president.
The question, yes, you have to come up. You have to come up with that caveat. You have to come up with that caveat that I'm not the one that's coming. Your president requested. The issue now, some school of thoughts are like, when President Donald Trump said he wants to do this, why didn't you call him and say, okay, together, let's work on this thing? And rather you were sending proxies and all the rather you should have called him. That's the reason. Call him and talk. Let's make it work. Prior to this time, we've had when the insurgency was very at the top gear, even during former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, we had the conversation, bilateral trade and relationship, where some American soldiers came and even trained our soldiers here. We had some of our soldiers go to Belarus for training, for anti-terrorism training. Those are the things that you see in relationship, bilateral trades and conversations. But now, America said they want to do something. You trigger it, do some conversations, bring it. We didn't make the call. Now you went to call France. Now you called France. Question is,
so
no. I just
Okay.
want to just chip this thing in.
okay.
America is talking. Now France is calling. What happened to our own colonial leaders? What happened to the UK? Why are they not talking? Because it doesn't concern us. You always find out that when some things occur in the Anglophone countries, you do not see the United Kingdom, England, or anything at all make a statement to wanting to help. So these are the times where you also see the Prime Minister pushing some things and saying that for these things happening in Nigeria, we want to help out because the stability is supposed to be good.
Yeah, Paul, you made a very fine point there because I was discussing with a friend of mine last week, and I was like, okay, with all of this, I've not seen any official statement from Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and I was like, "What is going on? We are a member of the Commonwealth.
We are
Yes,
not
we're a member
not
of
even once. We are.
we are of the Commonwealth, and I was expecting Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom to speak concerning all that has been happening in Nigeria, but not that has not happened, and I have not heard the press secretary, of course, or the special advisor to the president on media, Bayo Noniga, say anything that okay, the president has discussed with Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom, and the UK is also looking at partnering with Nigeria to solve the terrorist situation. All of that, and the point you mentioned is very key as well. Um, we did not get any official press statement from Bayo Noniga as well, because of course he speaks to me through Bayo Noniga, right? So he has not given he has not come to address the nation anyway. So we'll definitely quote Bayo Noniga. So Bayo Noniga has never given any press statement or released any press statement that says the president has discussed with Donald Trump on phone, and they have agreed that this is going to happen. Rather, we've got you send the NIA, right? The
Yeah.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Toga, the Nuhuru Badu, the National Security, I think
Yes.
the security,
yes.
security,
The NSA.
national, the NSA,
The NSA. Yeah.
yeah, to America to discuss, to have a conversation. No conversation from the two presidents. That's what we're talking about. Now, no conversation from the two presidents, Donald Trump and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No conversation. But now there's a conversation between Emmanuel Macron and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some people are beginning to say, the relationship between the presidents is it cordial? Is it cordial? Because if he could call Emmanuel Macron, who never requested, and speak with him, look, come help us. What about someone who decided to speak without your call? I thought that was the person that you're supposed to speak with first and say, hey, I heard you say, or I heard you give a press statement the other day. I saw it. Mr. Donald Trump, or President Donald Trump, you didn't speak with me first before, going on to say that. You should have confided in me or asked me questions. Is this true, what I hear about a country, about a Christian genocide? Is it true? Well, what are you doing about it? Because we are concerned about our Christian brothers in Nigeria. We didn't hear Bayo Noniga release a statement saying that the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke with Donald Trump to ask him, say, sir, Mr. President, I thought you should have discussed this with me first before coming up. This thing is not true and all of that. It was after that he gave his own press statement refuting or saying
That have occurred at different times. Like we saw also in the Senate, in the floor of the Senate, where people were asking, even when the Minister of Defense now, President Isoke, wants to know how come who called the soldiers that left the checkpoint before the children were all of these different conversations is having happening more than more than once or twice. Those things are recurrent decimals that they have to go to have to bring in the conversation. Nigeria is very important in ECOWAS. Nigeria is important in Africa, in the African continent, and because we will not the continued presence of insurgency is going to be a problem to the international trade in itself. So trade in itself has been affected. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, in his remarks, said that the insurgency has lasted even much more than our Nigerian civil war. Nigerian civil war lasted for 3 years, but the Boko Haram insurgency and everything that morphed into what we're seeing right now it's even more than
it
that.
started from 2003 or so, 2002 when he was in power.
Yeah, so
Obasanjo was in power.
From then up
till
until
now.
now, that's over 20 something years.
Yes.
So, but look at everything. We've lost manpower, we've lost people, we've lost properties, we've lost infrastructure, we've lost a lot of things over this period, even more than when we had a particular war that we're handling.
For 3 years,
For 3
1970
years.
70.
So it also means that it is high time that we just handle it and do it in all fairness.
And in case now handling it is not just us alone, it's collaborating with the international with international partners. And France
Yep.
has offered to work with Nigeria, but there are a lot of questions to President Macron's message, and these questions are what we want you to answer and respond to. What does this renewed solidarity mean in practical terms? Could this translate into enhanced military cooperation, intelligence sharing, counterterrorism training, or technological support? What new opportunities or dependencies might arise? And then what exactly does France stand to benefit? This are the questions. These are the questions we want you to respond to. What does this partnership promise? What risk does it pose? And what should Nigerians expect in the weeks and months to come? We would expect you to call us and contribute. You know how it is. 90 seconds for every call. 0707 747 1522 and 092 0912 1975. Call us and keep it very, very short, very brief. We would appreciate that. We would appreciate that. Let's get your call down. Hello, good morning. We lost that. Let's take the other one now. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Moye Steven and Paul Baka. My name is Jackson. I'm calling from Mackenzie.
Oh, Jackson, welcome.
Yeah. I believe the reason why the Nigerian government refused to listen to the American government for help or consider their support rather than going to meet the France government is because, to my understanding, the Nigerian government fears the force in which the American president is going to exert on our military and the willingness to expose as many they can expose during this period of helping hand, rendering helping hand to all. They might not want to follow the guidelines of the Nigerian government because they feel that the Nigerian government should not be in place to tell them what to do. Because when I read their comments when they were passing their bill to see how they can support the Nigerian government to fight these bandits, they were saying that they are coming with full force to uncover, to unturn, to upturn anyone that is suffering terrorism in the country. So I believe if they allow the American government to come, they're not just only coming to fight terrorism, they're coming to expose the root of terrorism in the country. So I believe that they are afraid of that uncovering. But if they approach the France military, the France president, they might come in collaboration, coming to tackle only the problem, but keeping mute of the source of the problem. So I believe that they are covering that part. That is the reason why, if you look at it, the American military is the best in the world so far. France is ranked number 7. So why do you think that the person that is in better position to help you is coming to meet you, and you are avoiding that person to meet another person that is even having lesser power to help you? Though they can say help, because their military is far better than our own, I mean France. But here somebody is coming with greater authority to come and help, and you are rejecting that person. It means you are hiding something from the people. Because Donald Trump is a man with great authority. He speaks like he can talk to anybody. He can do anything. Okay, France wants to come and help Nigeria. When Russia and Ukraine is fighting, why has France not done anything to support Ukraine? You can see Donald Trump is trying to make peace between Ukraine and Russia.
Well, France has been supporting Ukraine with weapons, though. Yeah, they have been.
They are supporting what?
With weapons. To supply them weapons. To supply Ukraine with weapons.
They are coming in the name of NATO. Okay, let's leave France and Ukraine and the rest of it. Come to Africa. Why do you think that Traore is telling France to leave his country alone? Look at all the countries that colonized France. They are going through military regime because why? This France itself is not helping the African countries they colonize to grow. That's the reason why you are seeing all of them are going back to military regime.
Okay. All right then. Thank you.
Democratically elected government is not functioning very well.
Thank you.
They are taking France away.
Thank you.
They are coming to help us.
Let's hear others as well. Thank you very much.
You.
Appreciate it, Jackson. We appreciate you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Moya and Dr. Paul.
Good morning. Paul Smiley, you're calling her Doctor Dr. Paul. Anyway, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. It's Caroline again calling.
Okay, good morning.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Sorry, is it President Tinubu that is asking help from France to come and help us, or is France that volunteered themselves to come and help Nigeria to stop the insecurity in Nigeria? I want to know.
Well, it's upon the request of our president. He said they stand in solidarity with Nigeria.
May God help us. May God help us, because to be sincere with you, Mr. Moye, our leader, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing with this insecurity in Nigeria. Just what Oga Jasi said. They are playing politics with innocent souls. They are playing politics with our life. May God help us to. Donald Trump has said he will come and stop the insecurity in Nigeria. They refuse Donald Trump to come and help us because they know what they are doing. They are the ones sponsoring terrorism that we are having in this country, because they are involved. They are involved, whether you like it or not.
Anyway, Caroline, you can't continue to accuse the government of being involved in sponsoring terrorism, all right, because you have no facts to that, all right.
Especially
Yeah.
that they released the list of sponsors.
Yeah, so don't
Let's
say
also
that.
solve, please.
We will not accept that on radio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Golden FM.
Good morning.
I remain Sir Rangiographer, reporting from Marapa.
Sapera, thanks for joining us.
Caroline, please, God will not help us. When I mean God will not help us, does not mean God will not help us, but heaven will help those who help themselves. We are not ready to help ourselves. Let me start on that note. You see, our president, I must be frank with what I want to say now. The city president of today has visited France, for my counting, about 7 times. How many times has he visited the United States of America in fact, since he came into power? Somebody should help me with that figure. But let's just keep that one aside. You see, our president has a personal diplomatic tie with France. That is why he has nodded his head to the France coming to help us in this insurgency problem. But the US have been knocking on our door for the past months. He has been turning deaf ears. That is a food for thought. There is something behind all this. Just like our president said, you see, this insurgency problem is just a business. And I agree with him. For the UK, they said that they are keeping silent concerning all this. You see, the United Kingdom, now our colonial masters, that they understand Nigeria more than every other country in this world. They will never say anything because they know what the whole thing is all about. Thank you this morning. I don't want to go any further.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Perry. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Godi FM. My name is Sami Cross, Hospital Junction.
Welcome, Ali.
Concerning this topic on ground, the France President Emmanuel Macron talking about helping this country. For me, I will not support him, because when you look at very well, the country where France they are ruling before, now they are not even there comfortable with them. They are separate to military region up to now. So why Nigeria government they cannot even attempt the US assist for the country? Because the president have collaboration with the France. That's why they are trying to bring this idea. I don't know, it's my own opinion. But in fact, if these people they are come to help Nigeria, are they really to come help this country? That's the question one I want to know. Because these people, in any country when they enter, they can cause a lot of confusion, and the insurgency will never end. Instead for them to enter so that the crime and criminality and terrorism are increased, the thing will increase. So for me, I not support the idea of France to be in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, the Nigerian government didn't say they don't want to collaborate with the United States of America. They didn't say that. They just that they did not agree with the notion of a Christian genocide, and the fact that America will remember how Donald Trump put it. They are going to step their foot in Nigeria, guns are blazing.
No,
But
but truth be told, in the midst of everything, nobody is going to be entering into another sovereign nation, enter boots on ground in full military gear and all the things
Yeah.
without collaboration.
Collaboration,
You know,
yeah.
aside from the fact where they came to rescue their own citizen, that other thing, it had to be a covert operation. That's why that happened. But
Yeah.
we are a sovereign nation, a sovereign independent nation. They will have to have the collaboration.
Hello, good morning.
Yes. This Mr. Daniel calling you from Yamigos.
Okay,
Daniel, okay,
go ahead, sir.
welcome.
Okay. The lady that spoke before now,
Mm.
I want to tell you, sincerely, Moy, I know you are a public man, yeah, but I want to tell you the truth. 75% of Nigerians believe that the federal government sponsors these people. It may not have
Okay.
anything.
When you say 75%,
Yes.
that federal
Even
government.
you.
No, wait a
Even
minute.
you
No,
in
don't
your
say.
house.
Don't say that. Don't say even me. I'm just trying to regulate the conversation here. Okay. What we are saying here is that you cannot openly say the federal government sponsor terrorism. That is a blanket statement. You know. So you've got to be careful. That's what we're trying to regulate. Remember what Paul, you know what Paul told you, or Paul said earlier, that a list had been released. Okay, so what
No, you
Nigerians
doing
are
your
asking,
job. No, you are doing your job. You are doing your job. You are doing your job, and sincerely. But I want to tell you the perception in the street. You may disagree with me, but go out and ask people. 10 persons, I will tell you that 8 will tell you that government arm is inside. So don't forget about it.
okay
But I
then.
want to also tell you what I want to say again is that let me tell you one of the way I know that government arm is inside is that when kidnappers kidnap and the ransom is being paid, and they will say the people have been released, but they will not tell you the ransom that have been paid in the back. Kidnappers will use those money to reimburse themselves, and they will be in prison. So you are not telling me that because they didn't say it now, but who is giving those ransom money? So people are paying, government is paying, and they are not saying anything. And the truth is that we know that government is paying. God bless you.
Okay then. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. After making this point, you had to laugh at the end. Yes.
Something for sure is the fact that there are these different perceptions, and you have conversations. Some persons come up with, it's a theory. Some people say a conspiracy theory, and those will say, okay, this is what it is, this is what it is. But you must have facts to all that you do.
You can say just a blanket statement that the federal government sponsors fund or sponsor terrorism.
Because
it sounds somehow.
This is the thing. The idea is, in the midst of all things, nobody is happy about the death of any Nigerian.
Not at all.
And so the government will not be wanting to do that.
Not at all.
Hello.
No.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, yes, Steven and Paul Bansa, good morning.
Morning.
Morning to you.
Morning.
My name is Amovi. I'm calling from Jobolo.
Okay, please go ahead, Amobi.
The first speaker, I think, the leader that is the first speaker, he said it all. That you can't compare America and France when it comes to sophisticated weapons. And that's why the fact that our president has been in a good relationship with France. That is why they wanted France instead of America, because America, they will expose the whole thing. We are not looking at. I'm not even trying to look at what they will gain, what they stand to gain. Those two countries, after all, they will gain one or two things. But the people that will be most here to fight this and to end it is America. That is why they don't want to align with America, because their hands is in it. When we see, they will say, well, why will we say this, that the Nigeria government hand is in it? Why always say this? The former head of state told us that any terrorist attack that lasts more than 24 hours, the government hand is in it. America will expose it. What is holding them, stopping them from calling out the name of the list of the sponsor of Boko Haram
Amobi.
all this while?
Okay, Amobi, please, I'm sorry, don't be offended that I have to stop you, but a list was published last week. Did you hear about the list?
Yeah,
Did you hear about the list?
yeah.
Thank you, sir. And that is fact.
Mm.
And it's not hearsay.
It is good to be.
All right, okay.
Amobi, I think your time is
hold
up.
on. Yes, thank you. Amobi, just don't worry.
Okay.
You know, it's just very simple. The list was published. The list was published and made as in brought forth for public knowledge of the persons that have been alleged to be sponsored. Listen to what I said.
Although some
Alleged.
Nigerians also say that that list could have inducted.
As
There are a lot of
funny-
people who have different notions.
As funny as it sounds, this is what they brought forth. It is now for the people that have the names that have been mentioned there to be called for and to come answer.
Good. Now, why many Nigerians are really skeptical about that list? We know that that list has been published somehow, but to say why did it take them too long for that list to be released?
The
And that's
funny-
why some
the-
Nigerians
the
feel
funny-
that,
the funny thing
there
is-
is something funny about that list. Some people are saying so.
You know, somewhat. Even when the list has been given, from the time of former President Muhammad Buhari, a list was given. They received it. They had made it, and they made an announcement to that effect. Now, question is, are you going to be investigating and have the political will to carry out the thorough investigation without any leakages? Do not forget that even when former President Jonathan was in power, he even said, he alluded to the fact that there might be some collusion happening even in his government. So anybody right now, it is. Do not forget that this insurgency we're fighting and everything, it has become an ideological war, and it is very difficult when you're fighting an ideological war because it's just an ideology. People have been brainwashed. That's why we see where even in the north, people are celebrating and taking selfies with the bandits.
When they come around, especially in Casino State in San Francisco,
Yeah,
they come around
so
and
those are
have
conversations. So
conversation with the community.
and you're happy you're celebrating. Somebody is wanted by the police, but yet is giving is brought for Tobani and for chieftaincy Tobani, and the you're having police checkpoint. People are there and celebrate. So those are the conversations. It has become what ideology. People are already aligned with them.
Okay, so having said that, now would you agree with those who say the government knows about all that's going on, because especially that one that has been coronated as a traditional person, and that the
Sad
government is
to
not
say.
going after such a person
you not
immediately
hear?
for prosecution?
Yeah, see, we've had different conversations. Even when a sitting governor, presently now from the northeast, made statement and came to the fact that we know these people, we know this thing, but we cannot, because he said he's a governor. He doesn't have the federal might per se. It is not under his purview to carry out anything. He came out. It's there on in TV, everything, media. The
And
question
then,
now
and then
that
the
we say,
government is not doing anything about it.
the question
to
is,
go after these people
it
and
is
eliminate them.
it is political will.
All right, you've said it all now. Political will has always been the conclusion of the whole matter.
See, because
the conclusion of the whole matter.
if the political will is not there, there's nothing anybody to do because we already have apologetics to the ideology on ground.
All right, now that's how we're going to end today's show. We are sorry that we can't take your calls, but we'll always remind you that, look, all that has been discussed and the callers, the contributions are independent of Golden FM. We're just trying to make you understand that you've got to be civil, you have to be nice with the way you put your words, you have to be, responsible with your words. And that's why most times when you allege in certain ways, we tell you, hey, you've got to be careful. You don't have facts to back up all of this, so you've got to be careful. This is radio, you can't do all of that. So please, if we have said things some way that you do not like, please, you have to bear with us, because this is how the radio works, okay? And of course, the December 2025 conversation between Macron and Tinubu and France's renewed offer of support marks a potentially significant turning point for Nigeria's approach for insecurity and for the broader Franco-Nigerian relationship. Well, if implemented responsibly, with respect for Nigeria's sovereignty, transparency and balance, and security and development, this partnership can actually offer Nigeria critical support at this moment. Well, that said, the success of this cooperation depends greatly on how both countries manage the partnership, which is the most important thing, avoiding over-dependence and safeguarding Nigeria's autonomy, and of course ensuring that support addresses root causes of insecurity, not just the symptoms, the root causes, going straight to fix those causes of the insecurity in the north, according to Emmanuel Macron, because he was very specific about the northern region, specific about it.
That's the flashpoint. That's the flashpoint. And like you said, we have what it takes and we can do it. It's all about us. We have to anytime we're having conversation with these people, Let's put our strong foot forward, and we are a sovereign, independent country, and let's make Nigeria work. Like what we say on the show and on this station, Golden 97.5 FM. Bayelsa will be by Bayelsans, Nigeria will be by Nigerians. Let's make things work. Whether you are from the north, south, east, and west, firstly, you're a Nigerian, and it's possible.
My name is Moye Steven.
And my name is Paul Oblumugbasa.
Thanks for listening. Tomorrow we'll be here again for another edition. Up next is News Update at 10.